Gaining UNESCO World Heritage status is a rare honour. As of 2024, there were 1,223 World Heritage sites across 168 countries. According to UNESCO, the most visited site is the Great Wall of China, averaging around 15 million visitors a year. Being chosen as a World Heritage Site isn't just a title. It can have lasting economic and tourism benefits. Researchers found that between 2004 and 2017, UNESCO status in Chinese cities led to a 3.8% increase in GDP per capita for the city. The French region of Champagne has seen overnight stays increase by 60% since it was included on the list in 2015. There's also been a 33% increase in tourism jobs. The World Heritage Convention is an international treaty that sets out guidelines for countries to protect and preserve sites. There's also a fund to help with the cost of this. But some local communities are unhappy, saying that a place on the UNESCO list is actually unwelcome because it can lead to over-tourism and environmental damage. Venice was chosen as a UNESCO site in 1987. Despite banning cruise ships and charging tourist fees, it's now threatened with a place on the so-called UNESCO blacklist as it struggles with excessive tourism. Now, Dr David Gwyn is a historian and heritage consultant. He joins us now. David, thank you so much for your time. You were instrumental in getting the slate landscape in Wales designated a UNESCO heritage site. So how significant will today's event be for China?
Well, very much so, and I'd like to offer my congratulations to the latest World Heritage Site. Now, of course, recognition as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO means effectively that any particular site has to be presented in terms of its significance for the whole of humankind. So when we were successful in gaining the inscription for the slate quarrying landscapes of northwest Wales, the basic story is, of course, that somebody from Afghanistan or Russia or China needs to be able to come to one of these places and say, yes, okay, I get this. This is very interesting and very significant. As you say, there can be a problem with over-tourism. That's certainly been the case in many World Heritage Sites. But on the other hand, of course, let's just bear in mind, Venice has been a tourist destination since the 1700s. It's practically impossible to imagine Venice as not being a World Heritage Site, but even if the designation hadn't been invented, people would be coming there anyway.
Good point. So will Shisha, the tombs, becoming a UNESCO heritage site automatically mean there's going to be a massive increase in tourism?
Not necessarily. Now, every World Heritage inscription has to be accompanied by a plan, which UNESCO will have accepted if the site is inscribed, that says how it is going to be managed. Now, if it's likely to lead to an excessive footfall, then the plan, I imagine, a good plan, will certainly say how this is to be accommodated, whether, in fact, people are going to be discouraged from going to particularly sensitive parts of the World Heritage Site, whether virtual access is a possibility. So there are ways around the problem of over-tourism.
Talk to me about the obligations then. We've had aerial shots, we've seen lots of information about these amazing tombs. What will have to be done to make sure not only that they communicate the importance of what these sites mean to anyone who visits, but to make sure they preserve properly as well?
Well, every World Heritage Site needs to be maintained in such a way that its contribution to outstanding universal value is maintained. Now, this has to happen in any number of many different ways, according to the nature of the site. So there isn't a one-size-fits-all rule for how a World Heritage Site is maintained. Now, for instance, in our slate quarries, we accepted early on that benign neglect would have to be a management tool for some of the sites. We couldn't conserve every little hut in every slate quarry, whereas somewhere like Stonehenge obviously has to be managed in a completely different way. So every management system which UNESCO will have approved if a site has been inscribed will be suitable to the circumstances of that particular location.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. Dr David Gwyn, a historian and heritage consultant in Wales.